Toya, where's Toya?
Over here, but my husband is right there. He's fine.
Oh, she didn't sponsor. She didn't give anything. She didn't pay y'all. Let me just put it out there.
She didn't have to. She gave cases of wine.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss Married to Medicine Season 10, Episode 14, which is also the finale. And before we get started, let me just say, Toya, there is a reason why you will always be dubbed Tacky Toya, because what you did in this episode, I said, excuse me, not the woman who is always name dropping and bragging and boasting about the material items that she has and the money that they have in the bank, not Toya Bush Harris out here being a cheapskate. I couldn't believe it, but it shows you can have money and have things, and mentally you still haven't elevated, because for you to pull that stunt, you should feel embarrassed. And Eugene, for you to co-sign on your wife's cheap and tacky behavior says a lot too. I always thought that Eugene had some sense, but apparently not. But y'all, without further ado, let's just jump right on into it, because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So I'm not going to hold you guys. We're going to breeze past this first half of the episode because not a whole lot happened. It's their last full day in Hilton Head. They're all doing different activities. Toya and Eugene are all doing paddle boarding. And it was so funny because we see Sweet Tea accidentally hit Dr. G in the head with the paddle. I was like, girl, you didn't remember that your husband was right there? It was so funny. It definitely felt like a cartoon moment. So now we see them all back at the house. The ladies are outside eating. And it was funny because Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Heavenly are all pressing Dr. Alicia on what happened to that $150,000. Because they're like, surely it doesn't just come up missing. She has to know where it is. So they all tell her, like, girl, at the end of the day, have your own separate account. And that's one thing that was definitely instilled in me at a young age from my mom and my grandmother. Like, girl, I don't care how rich he is. You better have a secret account that he doesn't know about, okay? Just in case he gets stupid. Now, let me be clear. Dr. Alicia knows where that money is. She's just smart not to say it on camera. But best believe, she knows where that money is. She probably sent it to her mom and said, Mom, watch this money for me because he's acting stupid, and just in case me and the babies have to move and get away, just hold this right here. But I'm willing to bet that Dr. Alicia knows exactly where that money is. And when she was telling those stories saying, oh, well, I didn't even use that money on me, I don't know where it is, it was for the kids. And Dr. Simone said, now, girl, you don't have to lie to me. I know you might lie to Kemma, but you don't have to lie to me because I know good and damn well that that money did not just go to the kids. So now they're all getting ready for the last dinner in Hilton Head. And the theme for tonight is they're all in silver. They're all going to be dancing and celebrating 10 years of friendship and 10 years of these trips. So now they all arrive to this really pretty estate where they're going to have dinner at. And I'm not going to hold you guys. I thought that this scene was a bit boring. And also, it just feels like every conversation in this group is the same thing. Simone starts it off by asking, have you guys ever said the word divorce in an argument? And I'm like, I am so sorry, but I refuse to believe that this is the only thing that you guys can talk about. It seems like every single vacation, or if it's just an event or a party, they're always talking about marital issues. Have you ever said divorce to your partner? Have you ever cheated on your partner? Have you ever wanted to cheat on your partner? It's always about the hardships of marriage, how marriage is such a struggle. And I said, honestly, none of y'all are selling marriage to me or anybody else who's single. Because the way y'all sound, y'all make it seem like it's a prison. Nobody wants to hear this day in and day out. You guys don't have anything else to talk about? You have Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone going around about how they were on the brink of divorce and this group has saved them. I'm like, oh my gosh, we get it. We get it. You guys almost divorced. Now you're back together, even though I feel like you were better off divorced, but that's just me. But surely there has to be some other stuff to talk about. You guys can't talk about anything lighthearted and fun. What's the last concert you guys went to? I mean, something. It honestly feels like you guys aren't that happy in your marriages, because people who are happy are not constantly talking about their marriages and the state of their marriage day in and day out, right? Again, if you're married, please let me know. I really hope that you're not talking about this day in and day out, because if you are, God bless. But it was just like, oh my gosh, somebody take me out, because Dr. Simone sounds like a broken record asking the same questions. I thought it was interesting when Phaedra said that this group really values marriage, and maybe if she were in this group when she was still married to Apollo, that they might have made it. Now, Phaedra, in my personal opinion, I always felt like Apollo was with you for a come up. I didn't really think that he was that into you. And he showed with his actions that when he was out at the club while you guys were married, that he was not invested in that marriage. You even said that he was a horrible husband. He was always out. So I don't believe that you being in this group would have helped your marriage, because the person has to want to be in it with you. I honestly feel like he saw you as an ATM. You were the breadwinner. You were older than him. You were the one paying all the bills and buying everything. And I think he enjoyed the fruits of your labor. But that's all that he loved about you, was the fact that you were on a show, you were making money, you were successful. You dusted him off, propped him up, cleaned him up, accepted him. And he said, okay, I'll stay for a few years. But I don't think that anything would have been different had you been in this circle. Apollo would have still been the same, in my opinion. And a quick side note, I don't think anybody was surprised when Dr. Alicia admitted that she had thrown out divorce in an argument one day. I said, girl, we know you have. You've probably said it on multiple occasions, because being married to Kemma, it's a wonder that you guys are still married. So I said, yeah, girl, you're telling us something that we already knew. But the dinner's over, and now we see them all taking pictures and dancing and just having some fun. So everybody's back in Atlanta, and we see two parallel scenes, one with Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Phaedra, and then another scene with Dr. Simone, Cecil, and then Toya and Dr. Eugene over at their house. So when we cut to Dr. Jackie, Phaedra, and Dr. Heavenly speaking, they're all talking about Dr. Jackie's first annual Med Gala, and she says that it's going to be a play on the Met Gala, and she says she's excited because the Med Gala is going to be celebrating and honoring doctors and doctors' wives and everybody in the medical community in Atlanta. So now we cut back to Dr. Simone, Cecil, Dr. Eugene, and Toya over, and they're discussing the Med Gala as well. And Toya, here's where the tackiness jumped out. You should know better. You've been to plenty of black tie events being married to a doctor, and for you and Dr. Eugene to act like this, I was floored. So anyhow, Toya brings up how she called Kendall Jackson to send over 3 cases of wine for the Med Gala. So now she goes on to say that she doesn't think that it's fair that she has to pay for her ticket, which is $1,000, when she's sending 3 cases of her wine over. So now you have Eugene saying that the wine is $40 a bottle, and that they're essentially giving $1,400 worth of wine to the event. So they feel like they should not have to pay for their tickets, which are $1,000 each. So I'm thinking, do you all hear how you sound? Growing up in New York, growing up in Jack and Jill, I am very familiar with galas, black tie events, A lot of the families in my chapter were extremely wealthy, extremely prominent. You've probably heard of them. It was no issue for them to write a check for their tickets with ease and then also sponsor and donate items from their company. Toya, you sounded absolutely insane to feel like you should not have to pay for your ticket. I said, what are you talking about? And it shows you how gauche you truly are. And you really think in your head that you're more sophisticated than you are because you have designer and you have a big home and you drive a nice car. But you can have all that and still not have class. And this showed very poor manners and just a level of tackiness that had me disgusted. And even Dr. Simone said, Toya, you need to still write the check and donate the wine. I don't know why you feel like you're exempt from doing so. Toya really sounded crazy telling Simone, you should have my back on this. And I said, no, she shouldn't. I'm happy that Simone is saying, girl, you look crazy, because you do. Don't get mad because your friend won't co-sign on your tackiness. You look crazy. So Toya is still trying to justify her tacky ways. And she says, I'm the one who took you guys all to Napa. I did this, I did that. I should not have to pay for my ticket. So now you have Dr. Simone saying, Toya, we all put up the cash and you're not being a team player right now. Then she goes on to add that everybody does not drink wine and that Toya is benefiting more than anybody else. And she is. Toya, the fact that your brand will be front and center at this event, that helps you. That's really great press and promotion. And for you to downplay that and act as if you're doing them a favor when it's the other way around, you really sound insane. And you're so short-sighted that you can't even see how bad you're looking right now. It's crazy to me how Toya is so extravagant with everything else, and then she wants to pick this gala to now be cheap and have alligator arms. That's always so mind-boggling to me. I can't stand it. I can't stand cheap people, and I especially cannot stand people who have money and then want to nickel and dime everybody else. Toya, you have no problem spending money on a purse, on jewelry, on a vacation, on a car, on a rental home. So I don't understand why you're acting like $2,000 for 2 tickets for you and Eugene is going to set you back. So now we cut back to Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Phaedra, and they're all talking about how Toya did not contribute and did not pay her $1,000. So Dr. Heavenly says the same woman who was bragging about how she bought a $17,000 purse, I don't understand it. And now she points out how Phaedra donated more champagne than Toya donated wine, and how Phaedra also gave her money. So Phaedra says, I mean, yeah, I can do both. I'm a boss.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
And again, Toya, you look absolutely insane to sit here and feel like because you donated $1,400 worth of wine that you are exempt from also paying your money. So now it's the night of the Med Gala, and we see Dr. Jackie arrive first, and Curtis is not by her side. Now we find out later on that Curtis is in the DR for business. And y'all know how I feel about Curtis. And I don't believe for 1 minute that he has business in the DR either. Wasn't he a retired high school basketball coach? So what business is he doing out in the Dominican Republic? I'll wait. But I can't stand looking at Curtis, so maybe it's better that he wasn't there. Him and his high booty can stay in the DR. So now we see Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon pull up. Dr. Simone and Cecil, Dr. G and Sweet Tea arrive. Anila is there. Now I said, why is Anila there? I was so happy to find out that Anila was not coming back on this show. I felt like Anila brought absolutely nothing. She was very thirsty. And I find it funny that Anila and Toya are friends again, because I remember when they fell out. So to see them being bosom buddies again, I said, oh, okay, very interesting. So Toya and Dr. Eugene are there, and you have Toya there putting up her signage to promote her wine. I said the gall and the audacity for you to not pay your money but still think that you should be able to promote your brand. In what world can you do such a thing? And I'm not going to hold you. It's a sad day when I'm agreeing with Dr. Heavenly, because at one point, while everybody's mingling, you see one of their friends coming up to them, and she says to Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie how she wants to get some wine. And the way Dr. Heavenly shut that down, she said, no, don't drink any of Toya's wine because she didn't even pay her money. She's sitting up here promoting her brand and didn't even pay. Who does that? A tacky mess. I said, Dr. Heavenly, I know I get on you, but when you're right, because this is tacky and tired. And it's embarrassing. So now we see Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Anila talking. Toya walks up to them and she says that some woman came up to her saying that she has to take her signs down and how she can't promote her wine anymore because she didn't pay. We see the clip and that woman said, you didn't pay anything, please take your stuff down.
Ladies, may we get a word?
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
I said, Toya, are you telling them this because you want some sympathy? Because the way Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie looked at you like, girl, pay up. Dr. Jackie even said, I mean, Toya, it's not too late for you to pay your money. So now it's time for some speeches, and we see Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly stand in front of the crowd. Dr. Jackie goes first and thanks everybody for attending. She says, we wanted to celebrate the medical community here, and we appreciate you guys coming. We're honored. So now Dr. Heavenly snatches the mic, and when I tell y'all, the way Dr. Heavenly had the crowd gagged, I couldn't stop laughing. Dr. Heavenly gets on that mic and says, we want to thank all the sponsors. Then she says, where's Toya? Toya didn't sponsor anything. She didn't give her money. She didn't pay. So when I tell you the whole crowd is shocked, they're all like, well, damn. Now, let me say this. Dr. Heavenly, that was really petty of you, and that was not the time or the place to do that. I understand that you're upset with Toya, rightfully so, but you make yourself look bad. You cheapen the event by now bringing personal drama into it. Dr. Eugene was pissed. He was like, that's rude. She's trying to embarrass my wife. So now he pulls Dr. Damon to the side and he wants Dr. Damon to check Dr. Heavenly. So Dr. Damon is like, calm down, calm down. And Dr. Eugene says, look, I'm not mad at you, but what your wife did wasn't right. She was trying to insinuate that my wife is a cheapskate. And I said, but she is a cheapskate. And you're also a cheapskate to even stick by her side on not paying. Y'all both look crazy and cheap and tacky. There's no other way to say it. And y'all know how I feel like Dr. Damon is way too quiet, but I feel like, Dr. Damon, do you not have a backbone? Because the fact that you couldn't even acknowledge that what your wife did was rude, that was really telling. I said, are you afraid of her or something? Because what she did wasn't right. And you're just standing there stuttering. I don't know. Dr. Damon, he always looks like he's being held hostage. In those confessionals, he always looks uncomfortable, like he wants to get out of there. And one of y'all hit the nail on the head. I have always felt the same way about Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon's marriage. They remind me so much of Jackie and Doug Christie, where both of the wives are crazy and run the show, and they would most likely take everybody out before they let their husbands walk out and divorce them. But Dr. Damon says that he gets it, and now him and Dr. Eugene hug it out, and now we see Quad arrive with a very dramatic entrance. Now, as Quad is coming in, Toya and Eugene have had enough, so they walk out. Obviously, Toya was very bothered by Quad coming because she says, oh yeah, when I passed by her, I didn't say anything. I just walked by her unbothered. I said, girl, you were clearly bothered because you're talking about it. Quad has you rattled. Let's just call a spade a spade. She has you shook. You just can't take her. And you're just angry that she's not that same woman who was the underdog who you could kick around and look down on. That's all this is. But you saying, yeah, you know, she came in and I just ignored her. I didn't say anything to her. I was unbothered. Girl, you look very bothered. Now you have Dr. Jackie asking who invited Quad. And I said, Dr. Jackie, don't act like you're not happy that Quad is there, because Quad being there provides an element of drama and suspense, because Lord knows that these last 7 episodes without her have been very stale. And I also felt like Dr. Jackie was being messy when she walked over to Sweet Tea and said, oh yeah, by the way, Quad's here. And I said, girl, she'll see her eventually. And Dr. G looked nervous as hell. He was fidgeting. I said, you looking real nervous over there. Why? And Sweet Tea was visibly rattled because she says she was kicked out of the group in California. Why does your ex-wife want to be here now? And I said, Sweet Tea, why do you care so much? And Cecil and Dr. Simone were also doing the most. You hear them off to the side saying, oh my gosh, it's awkward. It's like a train wreck. And I just said, y'all are too grown to be acting this immature. You guys are not in middle school. Everybody will be okay. So Quad greets everybody. She greets Sweet Tea, gives her a hug, and then she says, call your husband over. I want to say hi. So Dr. G comes over. Again, he's visibly nervous. They give each other a handshake, and then she turns to Sweet Tea and says, may I give your husband a hug?
Dr. J, there he is.
This is awkward.
Come over. You don't have to be like that.
Come on over here.
Hi, Quad.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You mind if I get to hug his neck a little?
So Quad and Dr. G hug each other. So Quad congratulates them on getting married. She says that she's happy for them. Then she compliments Dr. G, says that he looks good. And then she says in her confessional that the reason why she can celebrate him and be happy for him because she released him and the marriage and she's good. She's free. But personally, I didn't understand why everybody was waiting for some fight or argument to break out. I feel like Quad did the right thing, being mature and greeting Sweet Tea and Dr. G, wishing them well, and then moving on. I didn't think that there was anything wrong with that. So now Quad walks away and you see Sweet Tea give Dr. G this big kiss. And I said, girl, you're okay. I don't think that Quad wants him. You're good, sis. It's all right. So now we see Dr. G in the confessional with Sweet Tea, and he says that it was confusing, and he goes on to add that he's not trying to avoid Quad, but if he never saw her again, he would be happy. Now I said, Dr. G, the way you were trying to hide that smile when you saw Quad, stop it. Because the way you were looking, you look like if Quad winked at you, you would take her back and drop Sweet Tea like that. I said, let's not, because the body language was giving Quad, if you wanted me back, I would have you back immediately. So I said all these theatrics saying, oh yeah, if I never saw her again, I'd be happy. I said, okay, yeah, right. And Sweet Tea knows that that's not true. That's why she was so bothered when Quad came up to y'all in the first place. So now we see Dr. Simone and Quad talking, and Dr. Simone is talking about their recent trip to Hilton Head, how it was good, they had good conversations as a group, and now Quad jumps in and says that she wants to have some conversations as well. So now you have Dr. Simone say that Quad should have picked up this phone a long time ago to discuss their friendship. So at this point, we see Quad leaving. She has another event to attend, but she thanks them all for inviting her. And we end the episode with the event being over, everybody's leaving, and now we see the reunion trailer. And somebody please tell me, why is this reunion 3 parts? This season did not give a whole lot for it to be 3 parts. A nice 2-part reunion would have sufficed. We don't need a third. I'm confused as to why Apollo is going to be there. I guess to add some drama because, again, Phaedra barely opened up about her life. We only heard a few mentions of Apollo. We didn't see him all season. So again, why is Apollo showing up? It just makes no sense. But yeah, the reunion actually looks like it's going to be good, especially when Quad comes out to join them. It's going to be a whole bunch of stuff between her and Dr. Simone, her and Toya, and I can't wait to see it. But y'all, that was my recap. I hope you all enjoyed, and you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.